What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the dedicated video just to Bitcoin. Now, the last one I made, well, if you subscribe to me, you guys know I got roasted. I told you guys I'm starting to take it serious. We saw it was this down day right here, which looked like fun institutional reactions. Now, if you guys follow me as someone who trades stocks or futures and options or Forex, you guys know I like institutional buying. I'm looking for those buyers and sellers. I don't care about retail. Like, I care about where the buyers and sellers are at. And, well, for now, the institutional buying is typically the one there's more buyers. So I didn't really care for Bitcoin. I traded it back. And to give you the full story, I did trade it back here. I knew everything I was getting into. It was right around the $7,000 mark around getting in. It was, I think, 16 or 18 that I got out. And traditional pumping up style, it pushed up. I saw some pullback. I was like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and get out. And then it just crashed. And it brought on a lot of YouTubers, a lot of gurus, like the stock market is doing now today, with a bunch of YouTubers that just think they know what they're talking about with stocks. And it's not that they're dumb or they don't know what they're talking about. They just don't have any experience and they have no idea what they're talking about. But it wasn't hard to say you're a Bitcoin guru and look how much money you made in Bitcoin. All you had to do was buy it. But if you didn't manage it and you still thought you were a guru, you watched all your money go away. Well, here you are again. We're back. We're at all-time highs. The cool thing about this and why I'm interested in it now, while I made fun of a lot of people back here, still warranted, nothing I said changes. We pulled back to this thing's 3,000. Yeah, we hung out here for a little bit. And I even traded it here, dabbled it, just because we held right here. And I started to see it push up. I was like, all right, maybe that's the floor. Maybe it's not going to, $500-600. Not dropping to the floor, not going away. We saw it hold. So maybe I dabbed in a little bit there. I mean, Robinhood account style. Nothing crazy. We pushed up, we pulled back, we saw it bounce and leave right there. I was like, well, that's interesting. Probably around one of the first times I started zoning things out on crypto was right around here. And I even told you guys I don't really care for it. I don't take it seriously. But if there's more green candles than red, I'll buy it. It's going up. It's not really that hard to figure out. We saw some institutional reactions right here. That's when I got really on board. It dropped down to the 16 mark. I was already talking about this zone. I'd already really bought it right here. But we pushed up, we pulled back, and bounced. I was like, nah. So, long story short, that's where I like it. I've tried YouTubing this. I've tried learning about this. And, man, there's two kinds of people out there on Bitcoin. A, they will kill you if you don't believe them or listen to anything they say. And they're going to tell you every 5 minutes. They're going to check that and put your life at risk every 5 minutes. Or B, it's worthless, it's BS, it's going to zero, it's a scam. Nah, I don't really believe in that. So it really is kind of hard to find all this, find any worthless or find any information worth value. We do know institutions are buying it. We know Square's buying it, PayPal is buying it. So we got some big names in there. No one now what I kind of think, my own personal opinion, is that there is a mass adoption, and it's maybe getting ahead of ourselves, but Google, Apple, Tesla, some big company name like that decides to say, hey, we got 100 billion in cash on hand. We put 20 billion in Bitcoin. We do something like that. And the first time someone says that, and that first domino falls, I bet Bitcoin goes crazy. Whatever move you think is going to happen will likely happen right then and there. Like, you're already late to the game by the time that announcement comes. So, also looking at the few things I want to talk about today is I'm going to break this down. Also, what I'm doing with it, because on the daily, this is normal. This is not fear. This is not FOMO. That's a controlled push up. No matter what anyone says, it bugs me because people will get on Facebook. I'm starting to see that now. When I see people that have literally no idea at all getting on Facebook and pumping it up and talking about how much they made on this, and it's not too late, and I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. You've never invested in anything. That's usually a sign to me that there's new money. Like, banks love that because it brings on new money. It creates liquidity for them, and they can just rip shares and Bitcoins right out of you because you're emotional. You have no idea what you're doing, and you're going to sell. let's just face it. You're obsessed with money. The world today revolves around money and power, and it's just wired into our brains. So it's easy to take control over your emotions. It's not an ego thing. So guys, pump the brakes a bit. But this looks like a controlled push-up. It goes up. Like I tell you guys with stocks, they pull over or they pull back, but they're going to cool off. And it's done that, and it's maintained this trend. It got a little excited. We came right back down. Got bought right back up. Pushed up. We hung out here again. Another breakout. I think we're just now getting a little on the crazy side. Like right here was fine. That was just controlled. We're just slowly moving up. We're getting a little excited. You can see it's hitting the news. It's getting the attention. And it's starting to push up. This is one of those times where it might be getting ahead of itself. So we can just, you know what, let's delete that. So I'm going to grab an array tool. So we're going to grab 2 points, and it's just going to extend the line. So let's just grab here. We'll go to here. So you can see my 2 points of contact right there, candle bodies. So we're getting a little carried away. I don't care about EMA lines, SMA lines. We can add some indicators because I'm pretty sure right now all the indicators say we're a little bit up. We're due for a pullback. Also, in the news, woke up to this. I plan on making this video today anyway, but my alert on my phone when I woke up was analyst says Bitcoin, analyst who nailed Bitcoin's 40,000 level says 50% collapse could come next. And I've heard this before. So I found it. And all I had to do was Google it. Bitcoin, 50% pullback. This was 8 months ago. And it could go down to 6,000. It didn't happen. Anyway, news. It's about how much I care about that. 4 hour, controlled, a little bit up, more green than red. Probably does need to cool off and go sideways or pull back. Daily. Daily, we're getting a little bit up there as well. We're starting to get that vertical limit. I don't like when things go vertical. We'll get to why this one might be the outlier. Remember that last time I said that? It was about a company called Tesla. You have to be a subscriber of mine for a couple years because I said that a couple years ago. Weekly. Now, does that not just make you think pump and dump right there? Weekly. You know what? Let's drop back. I mean, let's do a couple. Let's just do one down here as well. Let's do a couple trends. You know, let's grab that one. Yeah, what I like to do is draw multiple trend lines. That way, if it breaks one, I can say, oh, it's going to the next one. You guys with indicators know what I'm talking about. All right, so we got a couple. We had some trends right here, and then maybe this was the institutions. This is the retail. Everybody finally jumping back in. Either way, you can see we might be getting a little out of hand. The question is, are we getting out of hand? Is this a hedge against the dollar for inflation, which we know Feds are going to overshoot inflation and let it bleed out and kind of come back down? We got JP Morgan, who I think he said 146. It's even in this analysis. Where's he at? 146,000. That was this year. An ex-Goldman Sachs guy says he thinks in 5 years it'll be at a million. We got ARK with Kathy. She's a 5-year outlook. She thinks 500,000. We've got some crazy numbers coming out there. 146,000, the smallest one. We're at 40,000. So if this is a hedge, if a big name gets in, if this is gold 2.0, you're going to see this look like a pump and dump. It's going to get carried away. It's going to go vertical, and it's going to be the beginning stages when everybody thought it was the gold rush back in 2017. Or is it? Yeah, 2017 right here. That was like, even Dave Ramsey called it the modern day gold rush. Everyone was jumping in. That probably a little too soon. This showing characteristics of when gold was a thing in the beginning. And if that's what it's going to be, we've seen the dollar sell off, and we've seen gold not really react as much. And it's all these little things that have kind of made me think, okay, Bitcoin, it might be time to take serious. It's the first time I've actually told people you probably want some exposure to this. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care if it's 1 million or $1. I think you should probably have some exposure. And how I'm going to trade this is, one, I got money going into it every week. Consistent. I have a whole plan for this. I have a certain amount going into Bitcoin. I have a certain amount going into my savings account. It's money that I won't miss if it's gone. I'll put it that way. Much like anything, in the stock market, I trade stocks for income, so that's a kind of a different. I can't really say that. I care if that money goes away. But Bitcoin, I'll legitimately be pissed if it goes to 1 million, because I will not have the amount in there, right? I've been kind of telling people, if I had to put a number to this, put your gas money in it, right? Every week you toss a little bit in there. If it goes away, if this goes to 0, it wasn't, it didn't break you. You didn't go out and get a line of credit on your house and dump it into Bitcoin and then have this giant loan to pay off after you made a stupid financial decision. There's still risk. It's not just going to go up forever. I think there's some writing on the wall that this could be a serious asset you probably need to take advantage of. There's also how it moves. This thing is up, 300%? And who knows what, a couple months? Like, going up 300% and pulling back 50%, that's the characteristic of this particular ticker. I don't use indicators. I don't use any of that. I look at price levels, and I talk about characteristics of a ticker. Ford would never do this. Ford, a good day for Ford, it moves up, 20 cents? It's one of the slowest moving things out there. Not like their cars. If it was a Chevy, it'd be slow. Sorry, anyway, no more jokes. A characteristic of Bitcoin is it gets ridiculous. Look, the other day when Coinbase shut down, is it this right here? Yeah, it just topped $40,000. Coinbase shuts down, I think Kraken did. Anyway, you couldn't try to sell it or buy it anymore if you want. It dropped back down, got gobbled right back up. We can kind of keep an eye on this level. But for you guys, let's keep the indicators. Let's bring up some indicators for you guys, because I bet on the weekly we are overbought. 4-hour, hourly, we're not. See, this is keeping it controlled, guys. Got a little carried away, bring it back. But look at this characteristic. It gets overbought all the time. Gets oversold here and there. So nothing I would really worry about. Let's check the 4-hour. 4-hour gets overbought all the time. There's no real surprise there. Kind of doesn't get oversold very often. So I'm going to put an alert right there on the RSI. I don't use indicators. I've used them a couple times. I'll show you guys my Amazon example as soon as we're done here. Daily, not quite as much, but gets overbought. So we are a little bit overbought. We're probably due to come back down. Nothing I'd worry about. Weekly, we haven't been at these levels. Weekly, we probably are a little overbought. Now, the RSI stands for Relative Strength Index, which means there is some strength into this push. This is no joke. This is the volume coming in. All these is a math problem. I call it the really stupid indicator, but if I'm going to be serious with you, it's a relative strength index. Strength, going that way. Strength's not a bad thing, and as it trends up, it will stay on the strong side, right? Overbought. It might not be a good time to buy in. As a day trader, people think they don't want to buy in because it's too overbought. Maybe it's gotten a little carried away. It's going to pull back. Yeah, sure. But what is your plan when it comes to this? So nothing I want to worry about here. Actually, I'm going to add an alert right there. Let's jump over to Amazon real quick so I can at least explain what I'm doing. Amazon, go to the weekly. Was it weekly? I'd set it here. I think it was weekly. Yeah, because daily we were always overbought. I just want to double check one thing. It's been a while. It's probably been 4 times in my career that I've ever even actually seriously used the RSI. It was the weekly. So weekly RSI, we just didn't really get there. The settings are different. Okay. I had my alert on the RSI at 85. And when it hit that, I told everyone it's probably time to pump the brakes on Amazon. Got roasted for using an indicator. It was right here. Look what happened next week. Next week. It takes a whole week for these candles to actually make one move. So yeah, by the time that indicator went off, it sold off all next week. It was time for the pullback. All I cared about was we'd hit RSI levels that we don't really hang out at. Right? We're no stranger to any level before, but once we get to this peak, so far, you can see right there, we kind of bounce back, which tells me, A, the stock's pulling back, or it's going sideways. I wasn't shorting this. I think that's a stupid thing to do. What I did was scoop my stops up and let it do its thing. It was going to go sideways and I was going to be just fine, or it was going to pull back. I was going to tag out. I tagged out. I got back in at the bottom. So back to Bitcoin. I think we're just a little bit up there. We're probably due for a pullback. Again, back to my strategy before I end this one. Certain amount of money is automatically buying Bitcoin. That money will buy Bitcoin here, 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 here. Every week, it does not matter. If that thing pulls back to $400 tomorrow, on Monday, I'm going to own a whole lot more than I did now. Just because, imagine how much, let's say $100. Imagine how much $100 buys you at 40,000 versus $100 buying it at $400. So that money will stay consistent. This is at least 2 years for me. I will worry about Bitcoin in 2 years. For right now, to keep it simple, $100 every week, $50 going into my savings account. That money does not mean anything to me if Bitcoin went away. It gets hacked, stolen, gone. You're not going to see me whining, crying, or kind of really caring. Like, of course I care. I didn't want it to happen, but I can keep the lights on. That's the attitude I'm taking with this. And so the reason I'm putting money into my savings account is if we do get that 50% pullback, we leg down, we get some red candles, all the gurus go away on YouTube, everyone starts freaking out and panic selling, drop that. Oh, man. Drink some Mountain Dew, grab a Monster, whatever triggers your anxiety and gets your emotions, get going. Because when there's more sellers, it goes down. Drive that thing into the floor for me because I'm buying it up. So the reason I'm putting money in the savings account, because as that goes down, I will leg into it. The further it goes down, the more I'm going to buy. I want to take advantage of the red days. I will dollar cost average into this for the next 2 years, but if there's red days, red weeks, that's when I'm going to take advantage. When the selling shows up, I'm not going to buy that day, right? When the selling shows up and I see that sell side momentum, now it's my time to babysit this thing. Like, okay, we're selling off, keep it going, keep it going. You guys have seen me do this before when it comes to stocks. Let's pick a day. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit smaller. We need an actual red day. Okay, let's pretend this is a weekly chart. All right, we're on the weekly chart. It's February. I have my alert there. Next week goes by. It sells off again. Another YouTuber, guru, he's gone. His account's toast because he told his fans this was going to be the bottom. He was wrong. Another week. Man, a couple more YouTubers are toast. I just keep scooting this thing down. Down. Every day. I don't care. Another YouTuber guru is gone. And I just keep scooting it down. Keep scooting it down. There goes a few more. We're not even talking about on news anymore or YouTube. There goes one more. You got your diehards. They're still here. They're hanging out. They're doing all right. They're gone. And to be clear, if this is the weekly candles, I bought $100, I bought $100, I bought $100, I bought $100, I bought $100. Okay, my alert just went off. Something just happened. A weekly trend just changed. Now, it's probably time to buy a little. Let's take some of that money outside, put a little bit, let's chip a little bit in, because A, we're making a bear flag, or B, we're reversing. They're going to look the same at first. We're losing some momentum, maybe a lower high. Doesn't matter. By the way, that's $300 more because every week I'm grabbing some more. Okay? We're pulling back down. At this point, I'm watching right here. Alerts are off. Here's my new floor. So we got this right there. There's my floor. Okay? Now we need to maintain something higher than that. Okay, we just broke it. Next week, we're right back up. We now know this is a level. Okay, it's time to pay attention. Let's add on a little bit more from the savings account. We're back up. Keep buying hundos. By the way, we have successfully, can I say successfully? Anyway, right there, we've gone horizontal. It's going to do two things. There's your base. We got a drop. We got a base. It's going to rally or drop. Plain and simple. It's going to close outside one of these, and we're going to just buy it, or we're going to wait to buy some more. There's your close. And we're rocking and rolling. I've already, first of all, sorry, I went a little too fast. Close above that, the rest of the savings account just went in there. 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 savings. Part of my savings, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Rest of the savings. And just keep buying hundos. Now when the gurus are back talking about, hey, I'm back. Sorry, my job was busy. I was asleep the whole time. I'm awake. How's everybody doing? Told you it would come back. We'll see a lot of those. That's how they work. They work in cycles. You've never seen a human actually hibernate until he tells you about to buy a stock and it goes red. But anyway, that's how I'm trading Bitcoin. That's how I'm buying it. And then I'll check back in 2 years. For the next 2 years, that is my plan. So if this does go to 1 million, I will be legitimately kind of upset because how cool would it be if I knew it was going to 1 million and I wanted to? I would have coins. I mean 20, 30. Like I would buy as many as I could. I would commit mortgage fraud and I would buy them. That's stupid to do because I have a brain. So I can't do that, which is why I'll be legitimately upset. And there's going to be some idiot out there that pulled something like that and he's going to be a hero to everybody. He's going to coincidentally be right and be seen as a guru. So be careful for that guy. But that's why I don't want it to go to 1 million just yet. If this thing could pull back to $2,500, 3,000 one more time, and then go to 1 million, we're fine. I'll be running this show from my island. I'll put it that way. So I'm gonna end it here. By the way, I did crack. I do have Ethereum now. I haven't been the biggest fan of Ethereum. Looking into it though, Jake. I'm saying his name wrong. He does the awesome editing, the magic guy. He did a video talking about kind of comparing them. Long story short, compare the dollar and gold to Bitcoin and Ethereum, where Bitcoin is the gold, the finite, and then Ethereum is the currency, like the dollar. So I did crack. I'm going to have both of those, but my plan is for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's where I'm putting the majority at. So I know this one was probably a little lengthy. I wanted to explain everything. As far as my prediction goes for Bitcoin, I kind of don't care. I do think in a couple of years, I bet Kathy Woods is right. I bet we're at the 500,000 mark. If we just kind of continue our current trend, even with pullbacks, it's going to push up 200%. It's going to pull back 100%. Well, hopefully it doesn't pull back 100%, but it'll pull back 50%. That's normal characteristics of Bitcoin. It'll be choppy. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Ultimately, it's going to go up. The second, and this is where this is where my timeline changes. Google, Tesla, Apple, anyone like that comes in and says, we're going to toss some in there, some of our cash on hand on there. Done. We're hitting that 1 million mark. Like just put your eyes on the target because that's probably where we're going. And if I am Apple, if I am Google, I wouldn't want to piss off shareholders. I don't know how they could do this, but I would be buying it little by little. You wouldn't find out until A, I've already made the shareholders trillions, or B, it was a leak. So maybe that's them buying. Or maybe that's retail pumping it up. This is Google buying behind the scenes, or it's your grandma. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Who do you think is buying Bitcoin right now? And is it going to the floor? Let's keep the comments civil, guys. I know this is a touchy subject. You guys act like I'm attacking your mom because I don't say it's crazy. I know I attacked indicators. Easy. All right. Scam or not, I don't care about your opinions. Everyone says scam every day now. What do you legitimately think Bitcoin's doing? And do you have any money in it? And I'll see you guys tomorrow. When I go live, 1 hour after futures, break down the futures and how the stock market's going to do.